a second to pop in. And let's see, I got this. Hello everyone. I'm just going to give everyone a second to pop in. I'm just a few minutes early. Just trying to get everything prepped and ready to go. I hope everyone is having a happy Tuesday. So I'm excited to bring together some fun card and layouts. A single page layout and a card is what we're going to create today. And I've done a lot of prep work, so it'll focus more on the technique versus assembly. So hopefully that will help everyone. So say hi if you're here. I can see a couple people are on. Hi, Rhonda. Good morning. Is it good morning for you? Yep, you're in Alaska, so good morning. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's like our day's half over here. And it's beautiful outside. Oh my gosh, my kids were playing outside and they already need a bath. And it's only 2 o'clock. So I know it's an odd time for me to come on, and we're used to doing that 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time, but unfortunately I'm a scout leader and I have Zoom scouting den meetings tonight, and so this was the best I could do and fit everything into my busy schedule for the new norm. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started, and as people join in, they can just catch up or watch the replay. So I had a member request to do an Eclipse card, and as I was thinking about it, I searched Pinterest all over the place, and by God, I could not find a single layout that had this technique on it. So I thought, you know what, let's do both. So to create my background, typically when you do an Eclipse card, you stamp an image, and then you take your thin cuts and you cut it out and then build from there. But I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to create a background, especially for my scrapbook page. So I did some ink smooshing. Now we've already done ink smooshing on here, I believe. I showed that in here. But I'm going to show the technique really quick. I've already done it because I needed all my papers to be dry, and I needed everything to, hi Kim, thanks for popping in, and ready to go to cut, because if I cut it wet, it won't work. And I also want to show you a couple of little tips when you do this. All right. So to create my ink smooshing, I just took my pad to my black, like so. Okay. I'm using Peacock, Sapphire, and Charcoal because the papers that I'm using have those colors in it. I'm going to bring in a little bit of water with my spray pen, and I don't want it so wet that it makes my paper warp, but I do need plenty of water on there for it to smoosh correctly. Otherwise it just kind of leaves a glob. I'm going to try and blend them a little bit without making it muddy. Sorry, I'm going to wipe this off before I get going. All right. And then I'm going to grab, I know we don't have it anymore, but if you are hoarding this like I am, I'm going to grab my spritz because I want to do this really quick afterwards. All right. And so then you just smoosh it down. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to dabble it on. So what that does is it gives it a little bit of a distressed look because, right, it takes the ink away. All right. And now I have some ink smooshing. So this is how I create my backgrounds that you're going to see in 1 second here. So let me get the black out of the way so I don't get ink or whatever on it. And so if I were to have cut that immediately right now, it's not going to cut. The paper's going to tear. It's going to look awful. So that's why I did the project portion ahead of time off camera. So I created one for a card and one for a scrapbook page. So this is going to be for the page, and this one's going to be for the card, and of course they're already dry. So let's do the card first. I am going to use the Fly by Greetings, which is stamp set, which is designed to go with a spinner card, but we don't have to use it that way. Part of the reason why I'm doing the smooshing is because I really didn't feel like coloring it in. Honestly, that's all that it is. I have it set up in my stamp positioner here because I'm using darker colors. I want to stamp repeatedly on this so that it really pops and shows up. And I know that I don't trust my hand to line this up and stamp repeatedly on it. Here's what, really quick, when I add my spritzer, this is what it looks like. That's the reaction it has to it when you add the spritzer to the wet. See how it takes that ink away. So you don't have to do that. I just thought it was a fun addition. So this is the technique part. This is the part that's fun. So I'm going to definitely stamp this a couple of times, especially right there in the center so that that comes up. I'm using an intense black ink. You can use a regular ink because I'm not going to be coloring with any mediums. It's already done and taken care of. It's just the ink that I happen to grab. Okay, and I'm going to do it probably 2 more times. I really want the cityscape to come through. I'm not going to stamp on my layout. Do it one more time. It's starting to come through and you're starting to be able to see it. But I am going to do this technique on the paper that I have set aside for my layout. The layout that I picked for today isn't a close to my heart layout. It's just a random one that I found on Pinterest that I thought would work well for this. And unfortunately, it doesn't. I'm going to do it one more time. I promise, last time. Unfortunately, it doesn't have like a link back where it can be like, oh, you know, thank you, Susie Q, for making this layout. You know, we used it over here and let's lock together. It goes to a wonky website. And so once I share the pin for you, that's going to be about as good as it's going to get. Once I share the pen, you won't be able to click any farther than that. Sorry. I just wanted to get this cleaned up really quick. I don't know where my shimmy is at the moment, so I'll finish that up in a moment. All right. And now I just need my card base. Where did you go? All right. I'm going to grab out my cutter. And I also need the plate. I swear I had all my plates set up right here. So all I had to do is, there it is. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the word wow out, right? Let me see where you are, because you can see of this. This is cut down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to put it right here. Use a little washi tape to hold those in. I'm gonna, all right. I guess I replace saying every 2 seconds with all right. Okay, so we'll run this through. And then I'll move that W over. And I want to save all of my pieces because I'm going to utilize them. So even all those popped out, and then I'm going to use my W again. Just trying to line it up in the best eyeball way that I can. And I have a card base already prepped. Who knows where that went? Okay. So I'm just going to set this off to the side because we're going to use it for the layout too. So you get to see the process done twice. So if you're a card maker, this is your moment to shine. And if you are a scrapbooker, it's coming up. All right, so here are my pieces, right? It says wow. Let me grab my card, another card base. So you have a couple of options here. You could trim this down so that, sorry, I bought aftermarket cards thinking that I got 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 and I bought 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. So that's why I just cut that down. So you could cut this down and you could put cardstock underneath of here just to give an extra added element if you wanted to, or you can just put it on directly like that. So here comes the fun part. This is going to go directly onto my card. So I also am going to need, and I'm going to grab out some foam dots, grab some adhesive. Okay, so this is going to go directly to my card. And I'm going to make sure I'm on camera here. Try and get adhesive as close as I can to that so that these little pieces don't really pop out. And then just line this up as best as I can. I'm going to take the little center to my O. I'm going to put that down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my O in first, then put the center in. Then I know that it's right where it's supposed to be. I'm going to pop that O back out, right? Now, you ready? I'm going to put these foam pieces that are left over from the shaker kit behind each one of these letters. Now I could leave this like this, but the whole point of the Eclipse card is for the letters to be popped up. So I mean, this looks cute as it is. So let me put these foam pieces on here. It doesn't take too long to do this part. It's well worth it, especially when you get to reuse these fun little inserts and you don't have to throw them away, right? I think that's one of my favorite things about that shaker kit is all the bonus foam pieces that you get. Okay, oops, I got another piece right here. I'm just going to cut this while it's on the paper. And then I can just peel it off and use it as necessary. Oops. Got him off to the side. There we go. And you can see I've done that before. I just kind of cut the foam while it's still on here because the shaker portion that I need is gone. And then I don't have to worry about it flipping off or cutting it while it's in my hand, right? Now I have custom sized foam pieces. So if you have done this before, give me a little heart emoji so that I know if you've done it before. If you are interested in what I'm going to do with the scrapbook page, give me a like, just so I can see where everybody stands with this little technique. And of course I'm on like a good 25-second delay. So, and I don't have my computer with me, so if anybody has comments or questions, I won't be able to answer them till afterwards, because my camera's above my head and I can't really see well. There. So now I will take all of those off and they will pop up like this. right, take the release paper off. This is probably like watching mud dry, and so I'm sorry, or paint dry, whichever one's your favorite saying. So what we're going to do is we're taking this release paper off, we're going to pop it up, and then we still have a little more stamping to do on this one. Oops. When I take a picture of it and I show it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Of course, I could have used the stamp set and just literally colored it in. I didn't have to do the ink smooshing. That's not a requirement. This was just something that I thought would be easier. If you have the stamp sets that create the ink blobs, that would be fun too, a really light color in the background. Oh my goodness. Taking 100 years. Last one. And then I'm going to pull in that same stamp set, and at the bottom I'm going to say you did it. And so now I have a nice graduation card ready to go. And then I could, if I wanted to, come in and color the other ones, but it's such a bold statement the way that it is. I'm not going to color in the little extra pieces that are, okay, we're just not going to do that one. Hanging off there, like I'm not going to color the boat or the top of the thing, building. Okay, so I'm going to come in with you did it. It's already curved, so I'm going to try and straighten it out the best that I can, since it is a curved stamp, which that's one of the things that I do like. I mean, it's out here crooked, so I'll put it on here straight, but ooh, I need this. Don't know about you, but I am not a good stamper without it. Okay, refresh that ink. There we go. So now you have that eclipse technique. And another way to use that spinner stamp set. You don't have to use it to make a spinner one. Okay, so now let's take a look about what this would look like on a scrapbook page as a title. So the pictures that I'm using, I'm going to use the same W and O. I just wanted to keep it simple. And again, this layout I found on Pinterest. It doesn't have any credible source to link back to, unfortunately, because it is a really cute layout. The paper that I'm using is the new Aurora collection that will be coming out on Friday. So you're going to get a tad bit of a sneak peek, and that's about it. I am not trying to do spoilers. All right. So the base of the page is 12 by 12. And then I've cut this down to 11 by 11. I'm going to put it so that it's an inch in and an inch down. So I have a nice, I'm sorry, a half inch. So I have a nice half inch border on each side. Okay. So I'm going to get this assembled as far as I need to, and then we'll do the technique one more time. So this is charcoal blue cardstock. So I'm just trying to make sure it's as even as possible. A little wonky down here. So then what I did is when I cut this down, my first cut left me with a 1 inch by 12 inch piece. So I cut that in half. I'm flipping it over and I'm using the darker side to create just a little bit of abstract. And plus I didn't have to waste it. I didn't have to throw it away or put it in my collection to sit there. So this piece, it's going to be, it looks like from the picture, it's about 2.5 inches from the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to put this, and it's cut at 4 1/4 by 12. So I'm going to put this down like here. So that when this comes in, it has this just a little bit, it has a little bit of distinction between the gray. Not much. So 4 1/4, I'm going to eyeball this part so I know where to put this one. Okay, so it's going to go right there. And that's giving me my little border. Of course, you could do something different. You could do, if you have zip strips, you could do zip strips. It wouldn't have to be necessarily what I'm doing. And hopefully you can use it. So then this is going to go here. Now the pictures that I've selected for this are my son from scouting, and so he did a really good job doing a Veterans Day parade, and the other youth are in there. So because this is a public group, I have to cover their faces so that I comply with my youth protection training, and I cannot put them online without permission. So that's why those sticky notes are there. Then my journaling is going to go right down here. You could do another 4x3 picture if you wanted to. So 4x6, 4x3, 4x3. My mats are 4x3, and this is a 4x3, and then I've cut my picture down to fit on top of it. So my title is going to go right here. They were so nervous this day. I just kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of where that went. So I'm going to put this off to the side. Bring my cutter in. Like so. And then I'm going to bring my 4x6 picture in because I want a good idea of where this is going to be placed at, okay? And so this time I'm going to kind of make it off center a little bit. So my W is going to go that way. My O is going to come in something like this. I'm going to tape these down and we'll cut them out just like we did on the card. I just thought, like, gosh, why should the card get all the attention? Like, we should be able to do this on a scrapbook page, right? So we have these things, and it's awesome to think about new ways or how to use them. Okay, super gently take this off. Super gently. All right, and then I'll add my other W in like this. He looks good. Cut him out. Run him through. I don't know when I'm waiting for my cuddle bug to die so that I can get the close to my heart die cutting machine. But part of me doesn't want to wait for it. Part of me wants to just splurge and get it. But I'm trying to do my best not to do that. Right. Save my pieces. This off to the side. Bring up my page in. So now I'm ready to adhere this down directly to my layout. I'm going to be a little bit more generous with my adhesive because remember I ink smooshed this and I created this unique background. So I really want it to lay as flat as possible so it doesn't bubble up. So I'm kind of paying attention to where it bubbles so that I can really get some good adhesive in those areas. Otherwise, I like to just put on as little adhesive as possible so it sticks. And a little bit more over here. I know it's hard to see it on camera, but there's some bubbles. By bubbles, I just mean where it's waving. Okay, so I'm going to come right to the edge. and I'm going to fix that. That bothers me. I don't like it to be crooked. And I think it's just the way that my cutter did it. Not necessarily me, because the piece doesn't look. Isn't that a great way to use your Cricut spatula? If you haven't been using it that way, you totally need to. Or I could just throw it, right? All right, so let's bring our pieces in. You know what? Before I do that, I am going to grab that You Did It, because I still want to do that same theme over here because they did it. Oh my gosh, these guys are first, second, and third graders. Oh, and fourth graders that did this flag ceremony for Veterans Day at their elementary school. They were so nervous, and they did such a fantastic job. It was great. So they didn't think that they were going to be able to perform. I mean, we practice and practice and practice. Let's see. I almost put it down directly, and I don't want to do that. I want to pop it up. So I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to come in and cut these down. We're going to watch paint dry right now. And then what I'm going to do is after I get done with this, I'm going to heat this up with my heat tool, and then I'm going to smash it between two of these pads, and I'm going to put this on top of it to help it keep flat. Honestly though, once it goes inside my book, inside my page protector, it won't be that big of a deal. All those other pages are going to help smoosh it down and even it out. You don't have to do a whole piece like I did. Like you can see, like I used a long block, and it's got a little bit of a line right there, but I really wasn't too worried about that since my other piece was in there. Sorry guys, I'm not doing a whole lot of, hey, should I do this or should I do that? But like I said, I can't really read everybody's comments because my camera's above my head. And so I have to stand on my tippy toes to read comments. But I guess I could stop and see. Hi Marie, hi Mary. I can see you guys are on there. Okay, yeah, I can't see any comments because if I touch the phone, which is what's recording, it makes it go like this, and then everybody's seasick. All right, so this one's going to go here. And I'm going to put, just like I did on the card, I'm going to put my center in first. So I'm going to use my O as a guide for my center so that I know that it's even, and then I can pop that out. And then when I put my O on top, it fits right where it's supposed to go, right? You guys are awesome for joining me. I know this is early in the morning for some, or maybe not right at the right lunch hour for others. So I appreciate you joining me on such an odd hour. I'm going to cut a couple down to fit on the O so that it goes good. It's too thin. Whew. This is probably one of my slower videos because usually I'm like, boom, 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 boom. Okay, done. It's either my personality or maybe it's all the Pepsi that I consume. One or the other. It's probably the Pepsi. Okay, so I'm just getting rid of that release paper. There's a couple hanging off. That's what happens when you kind of work on a white surface. And down it goes. And then get this last one real quick. Get it in there. Then I'll put my pictures on and you'll be able to see the finished layout, and then go create your own. I'm really excited about doing this on a layout. Like seriously, a card and a layout. Like, why haven't we done this before? Unless you have. If you've done it, Shoot, tell me. I just didn't see any on Pinterest, but I guess that doesn't necessarily mean it hasn't been done before. Putting this in. I think it won't. No, I think it'll be okay. It's going to be in my page. It's probably going to get smashed down a little bit, but it should be okay. There we go. Don't stick to my finger. There we go. Oop, I hear my 3-year-old. She's up from her nap. She's singing Frozen upstairs, so if you can hear that. She'd probably be excited. Okay, so there's that. Let me bring my photos in so I can show you how this is going to look. My journaling is going to go down here. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to come in with the quotable words, which is one of my most favorite stamp sets from the Story by Stacy collection, and do this down here for some bullet points, or if I'm just going to type up or write my journaling down. Okay, this picture goes on last, but I guess I'll go ahead and put adhesive on it now. And then I have to remember. Yeah. So this picture is going to go up here, like so. Oh, I already put adhesive on there. Look at me, I'm getting ahead of the game. And this one I'm going to kind of do as straight as possible. And then again, my journaling is going to go right down here. And now I'm ready to embellish and add some different trinkets and things like that. So I have some Cub Scout logos and things that are going to go on here to finish off this layout for my son's book. So there you have an Eclipse layout and an Eclipse card. So I'm really excited to see you guys make these on your own and see if you do a card or a layout. It doesn't really matter which one you do, but just get creative. Okay, you guys have an amazing Tuesday, and I will see you back here on Thursday, and Michelle will be your inspiration guide tomorrow. Bye everyone, have a great day.